This demonstration will highlight how to use Prismacolor Premier art markers using a variety of techniques and in combination with Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. For more information on this demonstration and Prismacolor products, go online to www.prismacolor.com. Steve Miller, fashion illustrator and professor at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, has worked with art markers since his career began. Whether working on a major retailer's ad or an editorial piece for publication, Prismacolor Premier art markers are always his medium of choice. His work as an art marker artist shows the diversity and beauty that this medium can bring to any finished illustration or concept piece.
I choose to work in markers because it's a quick, fast medium. It's also easily correctable or changeable if the client needs changes at the last minute. Prismacolor Premier brand is my choice just because of the non-toxic nature of it, the bright colors of it, and the easy find of it. It's available everywhere, and it can find colors that I need for the work that I'm doing. The key is really having the right materials. I've chosen these Prismacolor markers because they are the best.
Prismacolor Premier art markers feature impressive color laydown on a variety of papers, including photocopies. There are different line widths available with each double-ended art marker that makes them ideal for both technical and artistic applications. Prismacolor Premier art markers come in more than 140 colors and are available individually or in a variety of sets. Steve begins with a fashion illustration that showcases several different techniques using Prismacolor Premier art markers. This figure is considered a looser style that uses at least 2 or 3 different values of the same color family, working from lighter to darker.
I'm filling in the basic foundation for the color, the local color of the flesh tone. And you can see that I'm being consistent with keeping a wet edge the whole time. And I'm breaking it wherever I can to not get a hard edge. So now I'm going to pick up my next value, my medium tone. So now I'm putting in just a shadow source for the nose, the eyes, underneath the chin.
It's important to keep a wet edge and work quickly to blend in colors before the marker color dries on the paper. Steve works in small areas and uses a Prismacolor colorless blender to mix together different values.
I'm using a blender now to soften the chin tone, the chin shadow. Just adding a little bit of blender and taking it down because the colors blenders are just the medium of the marker with no color.
Steve does not mark some areas, leaving the paper blank to add highlights to the final image. Prismacolor Premier double-ended art markers have both a broad and a fine tip. The broad edge allows you to work up on the point for a clean line, or you can put it down on the side for a broader fill-in. The fine point allows you to add detail. Steve is able to use one marker to also add the detail work on his figure and uses the Prismacolor colorless blender to add dimension to the hair and face.
I'm blending these colors on the edges, especially now where the highlights are with the colorless blender, just adding that in between them so it softens the edge of the highlight to make it not so harsh, and then also on the edge of the skin so that it softens the hairline against the face.
Besides keeping a clean work area, Steve makes sure to have his next value of colors ready so he can work quickly before the colors dry. Moving to the dress, he again works from a lighter tone, graduating to the darks, keeping in mind his light source to stay consistent with shadowing.
Markers, especially in this particular technique, gives you a more vivid finish. It's very alive, very bright. Colors are very noticeable, makes a great presentation across a room. Prismacolor Premier dry slow enough that you can have time to blend them, but they're also fast enough that you can keep moving through your piece and get it done quickly.
Steve again utilizes the fine point tip to add some details in the beading after the area has dried. The next technique is a softer way of illustrating that allows Steve to work in a tighter, very realistic style, all the way up to photorealism. In this demonstration, he will be drawing with Prismacolor Premier art markers on the back of an absorbent bond paper and adding in shadow and variation on the front with Prismacolor Premier colored pencils.
I do highly recommend Prismacolor Premier colored pencils because of their coverage and also their consistency. It's great to be able to always work with the same colors, especially in fashion where you may be working in specific color groups and can't have variation or change happen.
Prismacolor Premier colored pencils have a soft, thick core that is designed for superior blending and shading. They provide a smooth color laydown and come in a palette of more than 120 colors. They are available individually or in a wide variety of sets.
If you want to get a smoother finish, to use the Prismacolor Colorless Blender, which is basically a colored pencil with no pigment in it. It works really well at blending your color in. Just adding a bit here, and you can see that I can take the gradation more into the white, creating a softer transition, which if you're trying to achieve realism in your piece is very important.
The Prismacolor Colorless Blender is available in a number of Prismacolor pencil product lines, as well as Prismacolor Premier art markers. Steve then flips over his artwork to begin coloring with the Prismacolor Premier art markers on the back. The marker color is going to absorb into the paper to become the local color behind his piece, again using smooth, consistent strokes across the surface. Because Prismacolor Premier art markers have both a broad and a fine tip, you can use the wide edge and work up at the tip, or use the full side for a broader fill. The fine tip is great for detailed areas.
Now when you flip the piece over, you can see that basically the illustration looks pretty finished. It's just a matter of now going in and adding some highlights, which you do because you want to make sure that your edges pop and really come forward. And then you can also go in and add more shadow if you need to. The thing that I like most about Prismacolor Premier colored pencils is the fact that they will cover anything. They go down evenly, consistently. You go in and touch a little gold here on the buckle, just to give them definite metal feel to it, and then go in with another colored pencil again just to add some darks.
The result is a realistic approach that showcases how Prismacolor Premier art markers and colored pencils can be combined in a tight technique.
But whether you're working tight or loose, that's up to you. I showed you the basic techniques for how to handle the marker. How you approach it is basically going to come out of your time that you spend with them. You can explore and experiment on your own. Practice is what makes perfect. And learning how to draw, because with the basis of drawing, then you'll be able to work with any Prismacolor product, and it will be successful for you.
In this demonstration, we have learned how to use Prismacolor Premier art markers using a variety of techniques and in combination with Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. We hope that this program encourages you to experiment with a variety of Prismacolor products and to be successful in developing your own techniques and styles. For more information on this demonstration and Prismacolor products, go online to www.prismacolor.com.